The easy woman's spears, for sure.
Excuse me. Did you see
There's
the
free
show?
water upstairs.
I hear Adriana's walking.
I brought some tissues in case it was emotional.
Test 1 2 test 1 2 test 1 2 1 2. Good evening. I am Juanqui and welcome to my world. My Incredible Hulk got me my pop filter, so you shouldn't be hearing the popping anymore. Good evening, Naris21. Thank you for being here. So we're gonna get right to it. Today, the news broke out that Tyra Banks is suing the Netflix documentarians. All right. She says something about her image was destroyed. They, edited a certain way. Mind you, this is the producer of 21 seasons who is used to editing being manipulated. Okay. Yeah, no, I have to go down to the good AI system and ask Tyra Banks lawsuit Netflix documentary. The AI says the AI went to 13 sites and gathered all this information in under a minute. Okay, all right. The AI went about and spent more. Let me just get right to it. Tyra Banks has filed a federal defamation lawsuit against Netflix over her portrayal in the explosive docu-series Reality Check Inside America's Next Top Model. The lawsuit filed in a California federal court accuses Netflix, its production partners, Ever Wonder Studio and 89 Blocks Holdings, and directors Moore Loshi and Daniel Siva of defamation, false light, breach of contract, and false endorsement. Core allegations in the lawsuit: manipulative editing. Banks claims she participated in a comprehensive 3.5-hour interview to discuss the legacy and shortcomings of America's Next Top Model. However, producers allegedly used only 16 minutes of footage. Erasure of accountability. The legal complaint states that Banks explicitly took honest accountability for the show's toxic on-set environment during the interview, but those moments were intentionally left on the cutting room floor to construct a more scandalous narrative. Oh, girl, they wanted to show you in the light, okay? Fabricated awareness of assault. This is the assault that was spoken of in the docu-series. The most severe part of the lawsuit involves Cycle 2 contestant Shandy Sullivan, who detailed in the docu-series that a past on-screen incident was actually a essay assault. The lawsuit states the documentary used, quote, surgical manipulation, end of quote, to falsely imply that Banks knowingly allowed the assault to happen and exploited it for ratings. That sounds right up her alley, but let's continue. The memory edit. Banks challenges a specific scene where director Moore Lushi asks, quote, you remember the story with Shandy, end of quote. The docu-series shows Banks looking upward, saying, and cutting to black, implying she forgot about it. Banks' lawyer asserts that the unedited footage shows her nodding unmistakably and immediately replying, I do remember her story, which was deliberately deleted. Well, this is going to be very simple. The court is going to subpoena all the raw footage, the unedited version of everything that went on. What really, puzzles me, Naris 21, is that somebody like Tyra Banks just did not have her own person documented behind the scenes. So you know what I'm saying? Like her own people, just behind the scenes, just following Tyra, recording the whole 3 hours. That just doesn't strike me as very smart. But additional disputes. Miss J. Alexander's medical claims. Oh shit. Here we go. The docuseries aired comments from former Judge Miss J. Alexander claiming Banks never visited him in the hospital following his 2022 stroke. Banks notes in the lawsuit that she was never given a chance to respond to this accusation on camera. She explained she was living in Australia for 2.5 years. Girl, because planes are not available to her, right? Private jets at that, right? Or boats or ships or right. She's in a remote island all by herself. She explains she was living in Australia for 2.5 years at the time, but repeatedly tried to reach out. Right. Eventually receiving an apology text from his family for their delayed response. Ain't no way in hell somebody with the pull as a Tyra Banks, ain't no way in hell she couldn't call the hospital and try to get them to FaceTime him. Shit, call the nurses station after they all start fanning out. Oh my God, it's Tyra! Oh my God, it's Tyra! Could you please take your FaceTime phone to his room? Is he awake? I've been trying to reach him. Nobody can put me in touch with him. Just take the phone. I will send you some tickets to whatever movie you want to see, a basket, a gift basket. But could you just take your phone and take him to his room? I want him to see me and let him know that I've been trying to contact him. That bullshit, Naris 21. On-set misconduct. The suit argues the series mischaracterized a production halt. Banks asserts that when she learned a crew member was acting inappropriately, she immediately escalated the issue, paused production, and brought in an outside expert to conduct sexual harassment training for the entire crew. Current status. Banks is seeking a jury trial. Oh, she thinks she fake. Oh, she think the people are gonna side with her. A jury trial. That's that Naris 21. You might end up in the jury trial. And I know you've done all your research and development. You've seen before the documentary even came out. For years, there's been people on all platforms reviewing past episodes through the lens of 2025, 2024, 25, 26, and giving commentary. You know what I'm saying? She thinks a jury trial is gonna favor her. Okay. Let's not forget, this is the same woman who has this, what is it? Hot ice cream? Hot ice cream. She calls it which by the way, people said it was just like a milkshake. With lots and lots and lots of unhealthy calories. Okay. Banks is seeking a jury trial and an unspecified punitive damage to address emotional distress. Girl, severe reputational harm. She had no good reputation, so I don't know how much more she got harmed. And the loss of future business opportunities. See, future business opportunities is going to be very hard to challenge, to prove, because it's like, who really wanted to work with her before the documentary and then after you know what I'm saying? How can you future, that's gonna be interesting to see how they try to prove that. Representatives for Netflix have declined to comment on the active litigation, and they have their whole fucking department. You know, they got lawyers and lawyers and lawyers and teams and departments and general counselors and VP to the general counsel. They have a whole freaking floor full of these lawyers that are used to dealing with this. If you think Tyra Banks is going to come out winning on this, I beg to differ. Hello, Miss View. Nice to see you. Tyra Banks is mad as hell, Miss View. Thank you for the thumbs up and the shared. Miss View, Tyra Banks is taking them to court. Quite frankly, I think she's making a mistake by taking them to court. Everything comes out. I hope y'all know everything comes out. That raw footage, or her being all in this, being all nasty and shit, or talking to the assistants or certain, all of that is going to be. We're gonna have another film based just on the raw footage. Okay, we saw the edited version, the unedited version, when she arrives with no makeup on and her wig off on the whole nine, she bald spots and all. We are gonna get to see a nasty piece of court date. Yes, Miss View, that's right. And I am here for it. You know I live for a good judicial process. Okay, I love it. The paperwork. Can I get filings? Yeah, please keep typing. No limits. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. I would print it out. And you know what I'm saying? I knew she was messy from the top model mess. Okay, if you would like to explore. Okay, yes, I asked the AI. I said, does this have a leg to stand on? The homosexuals in the room, I know it's pride. Don't get excited when I say does this have a leg to stand up? Hello, Castro Cannon. How are you doing? Are you doing okay? There you go. Castro Cannon has arrived, ladies and gentlemen. It's nice to see you. Nice to see you, Castro. Happy Pride Month. Happy Pride Month. All right. Yes, Tyra Banks' lawsuit has a remarkably strong legal foundation. That begs to differ, but whatever. Especially when compared to typical celebrity defamation cases. While public figures face an incredibly high bar to win defamation suits in the United States, the specific evidence and claims outlined in Banks' filing give her significant legal leverage. Well, I'm not, my sister's the one who passed the bar, and I, have a whole family of lawyers and the whole nine. So I sit around and I listen to these conversations and shit like that. I think that they just laid it out. What are the key points that they're going to have to prove? That's just what it is. They're just going to have to, prove that, they asked about this, she gave an answer, but I'm pretty sure that in signing on for this documentary, Miss View, Castro Cannon, she signed away her rights for her to be edited whichever way they want it to. That's how these things go. Legal experts look at 4 core areas to evaluate if a lawsuit like this has a leg to stand on. The smoking gun of malicious editing. To win a defamation lawsuit, a public figure must prove actual malice. That means, Castro Cannon, that they wanted to do it on purpose. There was an agenda to make her look nasty and uncared for and all of that. So they may subpoena things like email conversations, production notes, editing room notes that producers might have said they got a cut of a scene, of a segment, and said, no, could we make her look a little bit more like this? If they have proof of that. Okay, and who knows, this is a shady business. It could be that Tyra's people have reached out to perhaps some of the editors or PAs, that's a production assistant, or somebody inside that camp that says, we have emails where they're talking about we need to dig this bitch a grave. If they have that, then we're cooking with gas. If they have something like, I saw the dailies is, when they do little cuts of the scenes. I saw the dailies She's responding to this. Just for the arc of the story, can we make her not respond? Let's have her look up. There's that cut where she looks up when they were fixing the light. Can we put that in there instead? Take out the answer. Just put that in there instead. I think it's gonna give it a better arc. We want to make him look a little more like a villain. If we have all of that on email, or internal conversations, production notes, editing room notes, or any of that, then I can see how they have a strong leg to stand on. The legal strength. Banks' team points to the unedited master tapes of her own interview. Okay. So now it could be that they have access to the masters. The masters is the unedited stuff. The evidence. If the unedited footage proves she explicitly nodded, oh my God, it's like a freaking, I might as well go take the bar. Like, ladies and gentlemen, I'm reading this for the first time and I'm already, like, the AI is agreeing with me. The evidence. If the unedited footage proves she explicitly nodded and said, I do remember her story, but the director's cut that out and replaced it with an awkward silence to make her look oblivious to a essay assault, it constitutes a manufactured falsehood. Courts historically view the deliberate alteration of a speaker's meaning through surgical editing as strong evidence of actual malice. Hello, Brandy Weaver. Nice to see you. Defamation by implication. Defamation does not require someone to explicitly state a lie. It can be achieved by arranging facts and footage to create a devastating false impression. Legal strength. The documentary frames Cycle 2 contestant Shandy Sullivan's experience as an essay assault. By omitting Banks' expression of accountability and editing her response to look like a blank stare, the series strongly implies that Banks knowingly covered up or ignored on an on-set assault. However, this is me speaking, the editors can also say that's just left up for interpretation. You know what I'm saying? Because when I saw it, I didn't think that she didn't know about it. When I saw that clip, I thought that she could not talk about it due to her legal team telling her she couldn't talk about it. It's all up for interpretation, and it's going to be interpreted by a jury. The impact. Falsely accusing or implying someone cover up a felony essay assault causes severe actionable damage to a person's reputation, satisfying a core requirement for a defamation claim. The documentary standard versus reality TV. Netflix marketed Reality Check as a definitive factual series rather than a reality entertainment show. The legal strength. In court, the genre matters immensely. If a network airs a standard reality show, a certain level of manufactured drama and frankenbeating, that's when they piece audio together, frankenbeating, is legally tolerated because viewers expect entertainment. The impact. Because Netflix sold this as a journalistic historical chronicle, the court holds the project to a much higher standard of factual accuracy. Viewers consume documentaries expecting truth, meaning deceptive editing is much harder for Netflix to defend as creative license. Well, she got some good lawyers because they are making some good points here. Breach of contract and false endorsement. Beyond defamation, Banks is suing for breach of contract and false endorsement because her likeness was used prominently in promoting materials. Well, girl, the show is your show. What do you mean? You think they were going to put? Of course, they're going to show you. The legal strength. Standard appearances Standard appearance release signed by interviewees usually give producers the right to edit footage however they want. However, these contracts almost always include clauses requiring producers to act in good faith or prohibiting them from creating completely fabricated narratives. The impact. If Banks can prove the producers violated the spirit and terms of her participating agreement by deliberately omitting her hours of commentary to fit a predetermined villain narrative, the contract claims could succeed even if the defamation claims face hurdles. Okay. I see what you're doing, lawyers. The likely outcome. Oh shit. This is AI predicting. The likely outcome. Because Banks has direct access to the unedited footage. I told you guys. Because Banks has direct access to the unedited footage of her interview, Netflix will find it difficult to argue that editing was a simple misunderstanding. While media companies often try to dismiss these cases early using free speech laws like anti-slap motions, the highly specific allegations regarding the quote memory edit end of quote make it very likely that a judge will allow this case to move forward to discovery or a potential jury trial. And we are going to be salivating all over these unedited masters. If you want, okay, all right, good, okay. That's all the tea I got for you from the AI that went out and got 13 sites. We are going to be abreast of this situation. I mean, is she doing this for the money? No, she's probably doing this for the principle of it all. I think it would be great if she gets a nice payout and then she turns around and makes sure that every contestant gets a cut of it. Or maybe SA foundation, a foundation that helps SA women or something like that. Like, you know, she might be trying to redeem herself like that. We never know. We will know eventually, but we shall see. I think this is going to be juicy. I think this is going to be right up our alley. We are going to be salivating and reading all the documents. And if you want to continue to follow through, make sure that you follow me, subscribe, hit that like button. We do this every night. Every night we do this. Not this in particular, but we do something every night. I've been going live consistently since December 1st, 2025. Even when on a boat in international waters, I have been here. Ms. View says, right, because she doesn't need the money. Right, she doesn't need the money. But if you know, I think a redeeming arc to her character flaws, and they were there way long before the documentary, would be if she does all this and then turns around and donates the entire thing. I'm not saying 10%. I'm not saying half the proceeds. I'm saying not one red cent touches her bank account. Everything goes right to some of the folks that were affected, or an organization, or something. You know, Miss View says every night and no understudy. That's right. I never let them go on. I was an understudy one time. When I left a 10-year company to my own, venture out to do my own thing, and I know exactly what they think. I know how they act. I know what they want. All right, so. I'm a cornucopia of stuff. You just never know what kind of video you're going to get out of me. Sometimes we do confessions. Sometimes we do asking for advice. Sometimes we do stuff in the media like this, lawsuit, crime stories. Sometimes I just come out here, turn on this microphone and start going ranting and yelling. And sometimes, the tea is in the community tab. Today I went to a seafood boil brunch with my husband, the Incredible Hulk. Aside from the fact that we were lit, okay? Aside from the fact that we were lit, I had a seafood boil bag, Miss View. It was not $20, and it was not from the Kono Bodega. I know the bill just for brunch was about $200. That's because they added the 18%. Now they're starting to do that with the 18% is already added. I just passed the little girl my Platinum American Express and kept on enjoying the time. And $20 seafood, but like where do they with the EBT on the whole night? No, so I was a little messy, Miss View. I needed to make a post about it and let certain individuals know that it ain't, it's not $20, girl. It don't cost no $20, and don't forget your cans. And it's gonna stay right up there. That picture's gonna stay right up there. So when they wake up from their drunken induced situation, they could go right up there, get a notification, and be like, oh, that's what a seafood boil bag looks like. Anyway, I want to thank you guys for coming through. I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night. Be safe. And thank you for coming through. Peace. Bye, Miss View.